Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this week's options watch list. Before I get into the watch list, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Now, the watch list is going to be very, very tiny. Not much is going to happen on my watch list this week because all the stocks that I play, most of them, it's a big earnings week. We will be playing a lot of the next day reaction to earnings, so you will need to be in the room and watch the Trade Ideas channel for the plays the morning of every day, so that way we can kind of understand what we're going to do for the day that day. So I'm not going to sit here and point out all these levels on Apple, Amazon, Visa and stuff like that until they have earnings. So because it's not going to matter. I mean, it's a very big earnings week. All the big players: Apple, Amazon, Facebook, McDonald's, Visa, AMD, Microsoft, Google, Twitter. I mean, almost all the stocks I play. 90% of them. Boeing's in there somewhere, I think. What day is Boeing? Maybe Boeing's the week after. I thought Boeing was this week. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Anyways, with that said, I'm just looking at the economic calendar now. I don't see really anything. I don't see Powell or Yellen or anything. But last week we didn't have Powell either, and he just showed up on Friday. So you need to check the economic calendar almost every morning to see if Powell is going to make a surprised guest speak or conference or whatever, because he did that last week. And good thing I noticed it, because I probably would have missed that big play on Friday, or we would have actually caught it but would have chased it, or I might not even been at the computer. I don't know, who knows. So it's always good to check the economic calendar every day. So with that said, the ones I get on here are the ones that had violent moves last week. And so let me just check one thing quickly on the Twitter. I got on here, but I'll cross it out because it's on earnings. For some reason, I didn't think Twitter had earnings this week. Okay. SPY. Now the thing I was looking at with SPY is, right here it's a double top. You have a red doji candle right here, but the put to call ratio is kind of high, so I'll be watching on both sides on Monday, this week actually. So yeah, both sides will be watching this, but based on the put to call ratio being fairly high, I would not be surprised if we see a little bit push to 455 plus before we come down. But SPY is going to be heavily depending on what happens with earnings this week. With Snap, Snap took down a lot of things, a lot of stocks. Apple, Amazon, Facebook, they're going to take down a lot of things. And Google. So if this earnings season is anything like last week, where they have beats and they just sell off, or they just have massive miss, it could be a rough week for SPY. But I'll be watching it for both sides this week. I mean, you have like an inside candle right here, well, inside doji. I think it comes down below 451. It's got a lot of gaps here to fill. 448, 443, and it's got this big gap right here to fill. And if this earnings season week does not go well, we could come down to 440, 430 really fast. So don't think just because they have good earnings, that you can expect these good companies to have good earnings, that just anything can happen, you know. So with that said, Snap is one that I'm looking at to bounce this week. I mean, look at this. It just had a nasty candle all the way down into the 55 area. Um, I would watch it for a bounce. I think it's going to get back up to $60. I would test these gap resistance right here, and you know, if it gets any momentum behind it, it could seriously end up breaking, but I don't think it's going to break it on the first shot, because they don't usually move $5 a candle. I mean, what is this right here? Low 74. Yeah, you're talking almost $5 per candle, so it will stall at 60 if it makes a $5 move, and it's not going to break on the first shot, because I mean, look at this. I mean, it does not make monster moves on Snap on the daily. Extreme range is $5, so it's not gonna. If it gets to 60, it's not gonna. I highly doubt it's gonna break it. Being a $5 move in gap resistance, it's gonna stall out and chop. So I would definitely watch it over $56 for a push to 60, and if it does, and it managed to the next day consolidate something, watch gap resistance for a push to end up filling the gap to 65, then to 70. So I think Snap's going to end up being a longer term hold. Roku. Now Roku started to take off here, got slammed by analysts, took off here, got wrecked by Snap. I think it's going to end up bouncing, so I would watch Roku over the 325 area to push to fill the gap to 333, 335, 330 area, and Roku doesn't have earnings for another week or so, so it could have an earnings run up. Let's see, it ran up right here week before earnings, so earnings was right here. Oh, this was the week before earnings, but I mean, look where it was. It was at $500, $490. So it does like to sell off the week going into earnings. So I don't know. We'll have to see. But I mean, it's down here so low. I would imagine it's probably gonna do pretty good. So this week, I imagine it's gonna have a earnings run up. But I mean, if some of these tickers like Google and Amazon and stuff could end up ruining the move and stuff like that. So I would like to see Roku have one of those strong days like we had right here, one of these $20 days to have it again to push it up to the 350 to 375 area. So that's what I'd like to see on that. Pins got hit quite a bit now because of Snap. Then it had this monster candle right here for PayPal, looking at it, and then it just got dropped on Snap. Now, as far as I know, PayPal is still looking at pins, so to me this is just like an opportunity to probably get some more, or to get over for a pop to over 59 to 60, 62, 64, even 66. So we'll have to see if it actually will happen. It did manage to get over gap resistance right here, but that was because of a news event of PayPal, and Snap kicked it down a little bit. So we'll have to see if it will actually get some momentum and get pins going. So that's going to do it for the watch list. Nothing. There's really nothing to do this week except for wait for earnings. It's probably going to be a quiet Monday, quiet Tuesday. I trade the same 10, 20 stock, not 10, 20, 10, 12 stocks, and 90% of them have earnings this week, and I'm not playing the IV game with these. So I'll just play SPY a little bit more, watch Roku, watch pins, and watch Snap, and play that until earnings. And that's going to do it for the watch list. I know there's not much here for it, but earnings does happen a few times a year, and this is one of those weeks. So that's going to do it, and be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and hope to see you in the room, and thank you for watching.